What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the pre-match build-up for the game against Sheffield United at Old Trafford. Puzzle FC. Let's see what pieces we are jamming in the jigsaw today. So, the team, Sam, we have got out is Andre Onana in net, Diego Dalot, Casemiro back at centre-back alongside Harry Maguire, Wan-Bissaka at left-back, which most people kind of expected because, let's be honest, there's no one else. The midfield is an interesting one. We've got Kobbie Mainoo, Christian Eriksen, and Bruno Fernandes as your 10, we believe. And then no start for Ahmad. Anthony's on the right, Højlund up top, and Garnacho on the left, we believe. How do you feel about that team, Sam? What instantly stands out to you in terms of like flaws, or what worries you the most when you look at that?
No surprise, no shock on my face, as you can see. I am totally unamused and unshocked by this team selection. Ahmad was never going to start. I know you wanted him to. I know it makes sense to. I know we all think he should, but he was never gonna. So Anthony, if Rashford's out, you know what's going to happen. Anthony's going to come in. It's his boy. And then the midfield, we don't have a McTominay, Mount. I've totally forgot Mount was injured again, because I was like, oh, maybe he puts Mount in. It's like, no, Mount's still out. So we've got nobody else to play there. He's not going to stick a kid in there. So he has to play Eriksen, because is Amrabat injured?
Again, I don't know.
Right, okay. So if Amrabat is injured, possibly you could have played him and have a more defensive.
Would he even play, even if he was fit? Like, you know what Salah's like at the minute,
and if Bruno's in the 10, I'm just like, well, this midfield's going to get passed through to shit. Just going to get absolutely torn apart because Eriksen is not physical. The only way I would do this midfield, if you put Bruno in the 8 and then put Eriksen in the 10. Then Eriksen don't have to worry about any of that shit, the defensive work and track it back. He just gets on the ball and he sprays passes, which is what he's good at. Do that and then put Bruno in the 8 because he'll work hard, he'll get back, he'll make those tackles, he'll be physical. But he's obviously not done that. So that leaves a gaping hole in that midfield. And then you've got the two slowest people on the pitch in Casemiro and Maguire in your defensive line. So there's just going to be a gap about 40 metres wide between Eriksen, Mainoo and Bruno, who are all going to go fuck off up the pitch. And just the back line sitting low. So it's worrying. Fucking worrying.
I mean, we've got specifics that I want to discuss in terms of the midfield back line, you know, what went wrong at Coventry and all that kind of stuff. But just off a pure emotional perspective, is this the least excited you've been for a game? When you look at what's happened, it's Sheffield, it's bottom of the table. Like, where's the excitement in this?
I think the excitement died. When did it die? Bournemouth game?
Let me check my calendar.
Remember the Bournemouth game? The 3-0?
Oh, God, yeah.
That's probably when my excitement for the season died. So, yeah, since then, I've kind of just emotionally checked out
numb
of it. The Coventry thing just annoyed me more than anything. It was just annoying. It's just like, you're 3-0 up against a championship team and you chuck it away. That's just annoying, like, more than anything. I'm not emotionally invested. I'm not, like, gutted. I was just annoyed and angry at the fact that we did that. Like, and we didn't deserve to go through. Like, it would have been just right for us to not go through and fucking crash out the way we did it. So, yeah, I'm emotionally numb to it at this point, so it don't really bother me.
I can't wait for Anthony to score an equaliser in the 90th tonight and start doing a celebration, covering his ears and all that.
He could fuck off as well.
Can't wait for it. What's interesting is there was a report earlier on today. Again, the journalist who put it out, you know, I don't know whether it's legit or not. But it was that reluctant Nico, I think it's Alan Nixon or something his name is. Jason Wilcox has told Erik ten Hag he must play the new Man United way starting against Sheffield United. If Ten Hag does not deliver a possession-based style of play in the remaining weeks of the season, his future looks limited. Does that seem like a tweet that's appeasing to the fans? Because a lot of the fans are talking about this style of play. It doesn't seem like something a technical director would do, does it?
A technical director, like, his official date was... His first day was the semi-final, wasn't it? That was his first official day in the job. So it's his first official day in the job, and he's going into a manager demanding a style of play.
Yeah.
I don't believe that. Like, he's gonna take his time. The first couple of weeks of any job, you're taking in everything, and you're learning how processes are, where people are located, how things work, blah blah blah. You're learning all about that. You're not going in on your first day of work and going, by the way, we're changing all of that shit. Changing all of that right now. Like, that's not how it's going to work. And the guy, reluctantly, I know he's been shit on by a number of journalists legit journalists online who call out his authenticity. So I wouldn't pay too much attention to it, to be honest with you.
No. Just a quick one on the subs bench. Altay, Bayindir, Sofyan Amrabat, Ahmad, McTominay is on the bench, which is interesting. I thought it was like...
Maybe he's not fit enough to start, but he's fit enough to
that's probably it, yeah. But he is on the bench, so I suppose that's good news. Forson, Amas, Ogine, Lewis Jackson and Wheatley all on the bench as well. Of course, they got brought off in their win over Man City yesterday. With I think it was about 30 minutes to spare or something. So there was actually quite a lot of talk about maybe some youngsters getting involved, someone starting. There was rumours flying around about that. But do you think anyone on there can get any minutes or opportunities, or do you think it's just basically pure off if we manage, be smashing Sheffield and we're 5-6-0 up, then that's the only kind of chance that they'll get in that sense?
If we by any chance are like 4-0 plus up, so it's at a point where even we can't fuck it up. That's probably when you see maybe Ethan Wheatley comes on because he's been banging the goals in for the under-18s.
Scored a couple in there last night.
Maybe Harry Amas comes on to give the full-backs a rest. Who's the centre-back guy? Is it Jackson? Maybe
Jackson.
He sees in because I know Harry Maguire's carrying an injury and Casemiro's playing out of position, so maybe you see him. But I think if we're 1 or 2-0 still leading and it's like 10 minutes from the end, I don't think you see any of them. I don't imagine.
If you guys thought it was a low after the Coventry game, if we lose tonight, I mean, we have quite literally hit the bottom of the barrel. I just want to pull some Sheffield stats up. We've been through them again on the preview, but just for context and just to kind of put it out there, minus 57 goal difference, conceded 88 goals. They've got 3 wins in the whole league. Their sole victory in 16 league games was 3-1 away at Luton in February. They've conceded, like I just said, 88 goals, and leaving them just 1 behind Derby's record of 89 in a 38 match season. So yeah, they're breaking records for all the wrong reasons as well. And of course, Sam, we have a relation, don't we, in terms of or connection, one might call it, in terms of shots faced in the league. We're both right down there at the bottom. So with that in mind, do you expect it to be open and expansive, or do you expect what we saw against Coventry in terms of, the first kind of, 60-70 minutes where it was just like full control and then we lost our minds?
I think it's going to be more open. I know Sheffield United are a shit team, but they are in the Premier League, so step up in competition, so I expect it to be more open. I think Ten Hag is going to think, I need to get a win here, so let's just go for it, which is going to leave us open, and maybe Sheffield get us a goal, maybe they get 2 or something, because we're just terrible at defending and letting shots on our goals. So yeah, I don't see anything different. If we, by some surprise, we do control it for 60-70 minutes, I'm not going to be non-anxious and confident until it's like 2 minutes from the end, so we can't concede 3 goals. Like, if it's still 70 minutes and we're in control, I'm still not going to be like, yes, this is good performance, because we're still capable of chucking it away.
I think it's what we should probably look out for is that them turning it into more of like a street fight, physical. Could be a good few yellow cards in this one, I reckon. Set pieces, counter attacks, all the kind of shit you expect with all due respect with teams near the bottom.
Yeah.
I'm not sure in terms of the league position if it's mathematically possible for Sheffield still to stay up. Is it? Do you know?
I think it is technically, but because
so
otherwise it would have said relegated, wouldn't it? But in reality, I don't think.
Yeah, so. It doesn't seem that way. So yeah, look, honestly, this game could play out in a number of ways, which I suppose in itself makes it slightly interesting. In terms of United, what they're striving for, Sam, it's really Europa League in it. It's either to not be in the Europa Conference League and to actually get in there. Now, I know we look at it and we all sit there and say, to be honest, we'd probably rather not watch them in that. But from a club standpoint, it's still very important in it when we talk, financials and recruiting players.
I mean, obviously, United would like to be in the Champions League because that's the highest financial capability. Like, you get so much more money from that competition. Obviously, you do get money from Europa League, I think, but significantly less. And then also, you got to think, there's 2 things in my head. If you go into summer and you got Champions League football, it's much more easier to attract talent if you promise them Champions League football. However, I'm sick and tired of buying players who are only interested in coming here for money and the possibility of being the guy. Like, I want players to come here because A, they understand the project and they want to be a part of it, or B, they understand the history of Manchester United and they see it as a top club despite what's going on, and they want to join us.
Yeah,
that's what I want to see. So it might not necessarily be a bad thing. You might be able to weed out the players who are just coming for a cash bonus or just to play in the Champions League rather than actually coming to the club because they want to be here. So it could be a double-edged sword. But yeah, that's kind of where my head is in a minute. But Conference League just doesn't appeal to me. Just going to Azerbaijan.
It even sounds awful, doesn't it?
Azerbaijan EFC and fucking Kazakhstan and all this sort of shit. I'm like, I can't be arsed with it, man. I just fucking can't be fucked with it at all. Like, trying to sound interested and trying to do a preview on a team I've never seen.
Yeah.
Not even
give me your tactical analysis of Kazakhstan.
Like, just fuck it off.
Fucked it. Yeah. I'm looking at league table, so we're currently on 50 points at the moment, level with Newcastle, 2 points ahead of West Ham, but 2 games in hand on them. So the gap there is not, behind us isn't too bad. If we win tonight, we're going 53 points, 7 points behind Spurs, who have a North London derby to play. And then obviously we'll have one on Newcastle. But I think Newcastle, from what I've saw, they've got a pretty favourable run in the next, towards the end of the season. And I think we still play them as well. I think that might be our last game of the season away at Newcastle. Or home, I'm not sure. Again, I'd have to double check that. So there's still an opportunity for Europa League, as much as people may not like it and may kind of curse it and stuff. But I understand the perspective that we should be in the Champions League. But again, one might argue the fact that, if we've got Onana as a goalkeeper, what's the point of being in the Champions League? Because just single-handedly fucking chuck us out of it. So I get it. I completely understand it. Focusing on individuals, Sam, how important do you think Maguire is going to be again today? Because he was one of few really who stood out at the weekend, and also playing a full 120 minutes injured, you have to kind of question how fit is he as well, innit?
Well, not just 120 minutes there, he played 90 minutes against Bournemouth injured as well. Was it Bournemouth, the game before Coventry?
Yeah.
So yeah, how fit is he? Are we just risk aggravating like a massive injury upcoming? Like, is he gonna eventually tear something, playing injury and painkiller injury? Eventually, is gonna ruin and rupture something. Then we have 0 fit fullbacks, and then we're playing with Casemiro and Louis Jackson, who's never played a senior game and is a 16-year-old kid. Like,
is it Louis Jackson?
I think so. Louis.
Is it? Yeah.
Louis. So yeah, I think it's Louis Jackson. Might be Lewis. Maybe Lewis. I don't know.
Yeah.
Either way. So yeah, it's worrying, man. It's worrying. But yeah, he was great against Coventry. It was really good against Bournemouth. And if we're going to sit in and not play out from the back and try and limit that sort of being wide open, then yeah, he's going to be very important because that's what he does. If balls come in, he gets his head on it. He's able to clear it. He's a threat in the opposite end of the box, as we saw in the FA Cup semi-final. So if he can score some more goals from corners, which we aren't good at, never have been, so that'll be a threat as well in the box. But yeah, I'm just worried, man. I'm worried he's going to do some serious damage and he's going to be out for the next. How many got 5 games after this, plus an FA Cup final, and we've got no fit centre backs. That's worrying, man. It's fucking worrying. Yeah,
we are quite literally dragging our asses over the line. It's like Alexander says, second to last game because Brighton is the last one. Thank you for that, Alexander. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do smash like on the video as well and get involved in the comments. A little bit quiet in the comment section today. I'm just going to stay on individuals for the meantime. Christian Eriksen's an interesting one because whenever he's come on, I mean, he's not moaning about game time, but he's done interviews in it where he's kind of suggested he wants to play a bit more, which you can understand from a footballer's perspective. But when you look at him physically off the ball, oh my word, for their third goal, I mean, he was like walking really, really like fast walking back in a sense. And I think that's something that Sheffield will 100% look at tonight and target and be like, listen, this guy can't keep up with pace. You mentioned, is it Gustavo Hamer? Yeah, someone like that. Runners off him.
Diaz.
They're going to target him, aren't they?
Brennerton Diaz. Yeah, the chef. Is it Chile? I think he's Chilean. Yeah, he's quick, so he'll definitely make a mincemeat of him. So I don't. If we're gonna play him, why are we playing him in an 8? Why? Like, I just don't get it from Ten Hag. Why would you do that?
whichever way you puzzle that midfield, I think you're gonna have issues. Whichever way.
Limit your weaknesses. Like, so what is Eriksen's weakness? Physicality, getting back, tracking back, tackling.
Yeah.
He's not good at it.
Well, we might see that.
Play him in a
Who
10.
knows?
Play him in a 10.
Yeah.
So all he has to worry about is getting on the ball, receiving the ball, getting on it, and spraying passes, and maybe getting on the end of something, which he can do, and he's decent. He's good at. We've seen it. But then Bruno will run all fucking day. He will do it all fucking day. He will make tackles. Sometimes not the right tackle, but he will make tackles. So stick him in the 8 because he does that anyway. So you might as well just hide the weaknesses and stuff like that. And yeah, if he's playing Eriksen in the 8, it's like he wants to lose. It really is. It's like he wants to lose. It's like, oh, let's just put out my weakest physical player in a position where you need to be physical. Like, I don't understand.
Yeah. I do get what you're saying. I also think the connection between Rasmus and Eriksen would be interesting if you did push them a little bit higher up the pitch, because obviously they're good mates off the pitch.
Yeah.
Danish internationals. Højlund's lacking service as it is at the moment anyway. I mean, it's just been horrific. The guys hardly had anything to do. And when he gets one chance, he'll miss it and people moan at him. And it's like, well, that's his only chance.
Yeah.
You know, Haaland's getting about 5-6 per game. Whereas Højlund's quite...
How many goals has Kane got? 40 this season? He's
smashing him.
How many chances does he get a game? Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
There you go.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and I'm worried about him at the moment because he's just like, in a game like today, with the form that he was in, you know, and he was just scoring every game, one player of the season. Like, you'd look at this team and you think, this game, sorry, and you think, yeah, he could get a hat trick here easily, but he's been lacking service for so long. And I'm almost like, I feel like his confidence just goes now from making certain runs. And, you know, there's been so many situations where he even got brought up the other week about, you know, Bruno and Dalot and arguing and stuff like that. But there's been so many situations where you watch him in game where he makes the correct run or he drops deep to link. And just the wingers and midfielders are just not fucking interested one bit. So I'd love to see him get a couple of goals today.
There was that story, wasn't there? About him being upset with Dalot for not passing to him, and then Bruno took his side and stuff. And then we've seen arguments on the pitch between him and Garnacho, and Garnacho's not passed to him. So it's not something we're making up, and we're going, no, not pass it. Like, we've seen him argue with him and have a go at him because they don't pass to him. And then we've said it millions of times, he's playing with the most selfish wingers in the world next to him, which is not ideal for a striker who wants to receive the ball into feet, wants to get on the end of passes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What does Anthony want to do? Cutting on his left and pop it around the keeper. What does Rashford want to do? He wants to cut in and dart through players and then put the ball in the back of net. What does Garnacho want to do? Wants to cut in, dart through, run through players and shoot. They're not going to pass. Their first option is always going to be, how do I get shot off? The second option is going to be, how do I make space to get the shot off? The third option is going to be, run into a player, lose the ball. That's what they do. They never look up and first thought is, where's Rasmus? And try and ping a ball into him. And that's what he's suffering from. So until you get players who play into that sort of system that plays into, that's why Ahmad would have been perfect at this game. If Sancho would have had his head on right, he would have been great for him because he'll one-touch passes, that kind of intricate play.
Yeah, it can break down a low block.
But he's not doing it, so this is where he is, and I feel for him, man. I feel bad for him.
Yeah. Team 99 saying, a bit worried about the defensive shape, but going with 3-1 United. I think if we can start the game how we did against Coventry, absolutely fine. Like, why can't you do that against Sheffield? Because they don't really have, I mean, famous last words, but they don't really have, like, top threats up the top of the pitch, which is the reason why they've been so toothless all season. They concede a shitload of goals. So, in reality, with the quality that we have on the pitch, you should get the job done anyway. But, I mean, how many times have we said that? We can lose a game in 10 minutes. So, even if we're 3-0 up in this game, you know, in the 60th minute, like we saw with Coventry, you're never, ever comfortable. I've got a couple of head-to-head stats here. And again, if you are just joining, do get your comments and thoughts on the starting 11, which should be on your screen on your right-hand side. But yeah, Manchester United's only defeat in the past 10 Premier League meetings came the last time this fixture was played at Old Trafford, losing 2-1 in January 20. Do you remember that game under Ole when we lost to Sheffield?
Oh yeah, that was an awful game, wasn't it?
Horrific. Yeah. So they have beat us at Old Trafford before.
Dean Henderson in net for us. Did he let a goal
I think
in?
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Martial may have scored as well in that game. But I'll double check that. The Blades can win back-to-back competitive away fixtures versus the Red Devils for the first time since the 2 top-flight victories in 1973. Right, let me run through some of United stats, because I know you love stats, Sam. United's only victory in their past 7 Premier League games was at home to Everton in March. We've drew 3 and lost 3, so we are in pretty shit form in terms of the league. Erik ten Hag's side could go 5 league matches without a win for the first time since 2019. The Red Devils have conceded 74 goals in all competitions this season, their most in any campaign for 45 years.
Lovely. Fucking lovely.
Another one. They've faced 20 or more shots in each of their last 6 Premier League matches. Since such data was first recorded, only Blackpool have been on a longer run in the division, spanning 8 fixtures. So, yeah, I don't know if I've already asked this question, but what are you expecting from tonight? Give us your kind of synopsis, if that's the right word, of how you expect it. Let's try and predict it. You know, as fans are like, let's try and predict how the game plays out.
You remember the Brentford game?
Brentford. Oh yeah. You think it's gonna be as bad as that?
Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna be that bad. I think I'd be shocked if it was that bad.
I think the series of performances, if you take out that 70 minutes against Coventry, the performances have just steadily declined in terms of like having things to hold on to that positive. Like everything's just slowly gotten worse. The things Ten Hag's saying, the decisions he's making, everything is just slowly declining. And this might be the antithesis where it becomes tipping point now. Because if you would have got out, it would have been Coventry. Had we got out and that goal would have stood, the offside goal, that would have been it. That's the tipping point right there.
It would have been gone as well, wouldn't it?
It probably would have been. That's his death nail. But he managed to squeeze out fucking just. Sheffield United is not a team you should be losing to. No offense to Sheffield United fans. Like, I'm sure it's a great club.
But they won 3 all season, haven't they? Like,
I'm sure, but no offense to them, but you should be beating them at home, especially. I don't care how many injuries we have. We should be beating him. Like, it should. Yeah. Like, we should be beating him. So if he doesn't, and he doesn't do it convincingly, I don't know. Like, either way, he's fucked. Because if he doesn't do it convincingly, people are going to be like, you can't even beat Sheffield United, who are one of the worst teams ever gone to Premier League. If he does do it convincingly, everyone's going to be like, well, you should have done that anyway.
Well, that's what you should have done
do you
anyway.
Know what I mean?
Yeah.
So either way, he's fucked. So I just think I don't expect anything for this game. So, and I don't. All the games coming up, aside from the City final, I don't see a game where we suddenly show up. I don't see it. I don't see where it happens. So, yeah.
He seemed a little bit spicy in his embargo section. I don't know if you watched it.
Yeah.
He got asked. It might not have been in the embargo section actually. It might have been the first part where he got asked about the commentary, and he actually flew back at the media and was like, "Yeah, you guys were embarrassing the way you were going on about it. Like, this is successful, 2 finals in a row. It's been a long time since we've done that." What side are you on in that sense there? Do you think that's good for the manager to come out and be like that with the journalists, or do you think the journalists have a point?
Yeah, I like when a manager has a go at journalists, because most of the time they write utter bollocks, don't they?
Yeah,
like, we've seen
especially Luckhurst.
Like, I love, like, do you know when he got banned? I was like, abso-fucking-lutely. Like, I love that decision. Like, oh, you're gonna write lies and you're not even gonna check with the club before you put a story out? Yeah, get to fuck, lad. Like, so if he wants to be prickly with the press, then fair power to him. Like, especially if they are writing stuff that is unfair sort of attacks on him rather than sort of unbiased criticism. Like, we listen to Talking of Devils, and I'd say that's, even though it's a United podcast, I'd say it is as unbiased as it can be. Like, they try to be as unbiased as possible, even though they're all United fans. They try to be as, and then you see the dogpiling if United have a bad game or something go on. The amount, like, TalkSport has 2-week fucking programs worth of shite to talk about. Sky Sports just talking. It just seems to be a media pilot anytime it's go wrong. So I'm with him on that. However, when someone criticises him fairly for things that he is doing, I think he needs to stand up and answer the questions. Because didn't somebody ask him about Ahmad? I don't know if you're going to touch on that, but he asked him in the press conference, didn't he? Like, what does Ahmad have to do to get in this team? And then one of the things which is really interesting, he said, So we had all those. I think Aaron touched on it in the news today. All the things we've suggested that could be the problem is social media, likes. Maybe he doesn't train hard enough. Maybe he does certain things he doesn't like. But in the thing he says, no, we've been impressed with him. He's been fantastic and he deserves time. He said he deserves time. So if he deserves time, why is he not getting it? I think that's a fair criticism to ask him and a fair question to ask him. So whoever asked that question is 100% like,
I said that as well.
That's
what we want, innit?
I want to see those journalists asking those type of questions. Yeah. That's what I want to see.
Because he comes out and says he deserves it and da. Okay, well, if he deserves it, why has he not played more? Yeah. You know, you have to question this as fans. Anyone in this chat right now, or whenever you've watched the game, you know, has he done any worse than Anthony? No, he's been better than Anthony. Has he done any worse than Forson? No, he's arguably been better than Forson.
Has he done worse than Rashford?
Contributed more. Definitely not. Yeah. So whichever way you look at it, you know, we can move Garnacho over to the left, put Ahmad on the right. There is no reason why. And we have both spoken about this before, that it feels like he's just waiting for the Rashford from last season to magically turn up, which, you know, you've been waiting too long now.
Ollie did the same thing. He used to play players because he was waiting for that individual brilliance to get him out of jail. And then the players chucked him under the bus because he just weren't doing it anymore. And Rashford was one of them. Rashford was one of those players. And Ten Hag's fallen under the same thing because he had a good season last season, and now he's fallen under the spell of, oh, this guy has got something, and he's just continuously let him down. And he knows he's not going to be dropped because he's got a big fat contract. He's the face of Manchester United. He came for the academy. Rashford knows he's not. That's why he disrespected him by going on a night out and then ringing in sick the day after when he's supposed to be in training, because he doesn't respect it. He don't respect the manager. He don't respect the club because he knows he's the man, and that's how you show it. Like, if you ring up your boss continuously and just go, "Oh, I'm not well. I'm injured or whatever," but you've had a night out, you don't respect your boss. You don't respect your workplace. Give a shit. So
it's true.
He's continually put him in that thing, so he knows he's not going to be dropped. So I want to see journalists ask more questions like that. I want to see more journalists ask questions like, why have you continuously played these players in this position when there's clear massive gap in between the midfield? Like, why have you done this? Like, explain to us what you have done and why this has happened. Because I don't see any journalists asking those questions.
No. It is very tippy-tappy in it with a lot of them. You know, you could argue that they could have been a little bit more... I don't want them to be insulting, obviously, but I'm saying they could be more picky at the questions. Sometimes they ask really bland questions and just leave it at that.
Just push a little bit.
Yeah, push a little bit. We want a bit more, because Ten Hag's a stubborn guy anyway. He always says, like, no, I think we've done this, duh. So you do need to push a little bit. I'm just going to read out a couple of comments. Charlie Malman says, not the worst team, but both Cass and Maguire are injured. Garnacho is injured. Bobby Schmurd said, this is going to be one of the best teams we've seen this season. I think
Sheffield or us? Which one?
No, I know what he's saying. If you look at midfield, it's very possession-based. Eriksen, Bruno, and Mainu should keep hold of the ball a lot better, but should being the key word there. We'll just have to see how it kind of formulates and how long it lasts for, because Eriksen gets to the 60-minute mark or the 40-minute mark nowadays. The fucking 10-minute mark these days and falls off.
Maybe he's thinking about, we're going to have lots more of the ball, so we don't have to worry about that transition coming back the other way as much. Maybe that's why Eriksen is played instead of like a defensive.
It's Sheffield in it at the end of the day. So, Man United Amp says rest of the season is just an audition to see who starts in the FA Cup final, who stays, and who cares about the club. I think that's a very good comment. Random guy, I know I might be in the minority, but Eriksen should not. I would play Ahmad as a 10, and I would let Bruno play a less attacking position. Aaron mentioned that earlier today. He said I'd push Ahmad up there, drop Bruno a little bit deeper.
Try something.
The thing is, I know Ahmad in-game tends to drift in the middle anyway and can operate in that area. I don't know if he's ever started a game as a 10. I know maybe he would have done it under Sunderland. I know he's definitely not done it for us because he's hardly played any minutes at all.
Did he try it in pre-season with him?
No, it was false 9, wasn't it?
He
starting as a false 9 or striker or something.
He plays Sancho in the 10 as well. He plays Sancho.
Yeah,
in the 10,
I'm
sure he did Ahmad as well, but I can't remember.
Yeah, I think so. Charlie's saying, have you not heard Ahmad is not playing because Erik ten Hag's afraid he's injured? There are 3 injured on the pitch now, and Ahmad has not been injured since January. Ahmad isn't injured, he's fine, from what I know. 2-1 guys, Rasmus and Garnacho. Dino going early with the score prediction there. It's Sam also in the chat. Big up, it's Sam. 4-1. Anthony with a big game. He always goes with
He's always positive,
the
isn't he?
controversial takes.
He's always positive.
I mean, you can't really,
No, I like it. I'm here for it.
Yeah, I'll take the positivity. 3-1 Lucky Singh. Dino saying we're down to our bare bones. We couldn't really do too much with the team. I get that. You can't. There's only certain areas you can rotate. But Ahmad, there is not one person on this single planet who can argue with me that he shouldn't. He doesn't deserve to start over Antony. Not one person. Not one angle you can come at.
There's certain positions where obviously you can't change much. Centre backs, there's nothing we could do. There is nobody else. Like, we can't do anything there. Full backs, there's nobody there. We can't change it. There's nothing that we can do.
Correct.
Midfield, there's pretty much nothing else we can do. Because the only other midfield option is Amrabat, I think, on the bench. I think he's the only other one.
I don't think Amrabat's on the bench, to be honest with you.
I think I saw him on the bench.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's it. But the one place he can change things is the wingers, because he has other wingers that he can use. He can change things there. He's got Antony, he's got Ahmad, he's got Garnacho, Forson. Like, he's got players he can change there, and he hasn't, which just shows to me there's something. He's either a complete and utter bias to Antony, that it's his guy and he wants it to work out, so he's going to give him every fucking opportunity to do so until he's either sacked or Antony leaves, or there's something going on behind the scenes that we don't know about. So I don't know what it is.
I think it's interesting you mentioned Amrabat there. Why the fuck is he not playing? Why are you playing Eriksen instead of Amrabat? Put Amrabat in the 6, push Manu up high. I mean, I know Amrabat's a little bit slow and he's not technically adapted to the league like we thought he would, like a duck to water, but surely that's more balance. Amrabat in the 6. Surely.
I think he got... We needed someone in that position, and then when we got him, I think after a couple of games, Ten Hag realised this isn't the guy I thought he was. He's not been the guy I wanted him to be, and then since then he hasn't really started or appeared at all, has he? Like, in games. So I think Ten Hag has just resigned himself to go, he's not the guy, so he's just not going to play. So I think that's what's gone on there.
More about individuals as well. Like, I agree. I think selection is interesting, but more to the point, like overall fitness, determination, grind, grit, all those words people hate to kind of hear, because Ollie used to use them quite a lot. I think that's what we're going to need the most tonight, because there are players on that pitch who haven't even kicked a ball yet, and they're going to be knackered before the kick-off, really. I think you will see a drop-off in this game naturally, because Garnacho was knackered in the last one. Yeah. Maguire must be fucked. He really, really must be. Casemiro will always leg it anyway.
Eriksen.
So, that's what I'm saying. Eriksen, we're lacking. Kobe's played a lot of minutes recently. We're supposed to be managing him as well, but what can we do? Because we've got no one else available. Wan-Bissaka's, since he's came back in. Wan-Bissaka, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, came in against Liverpool when he shouldn't have even started because Evans got injured, didn't he?
Yeah.
And he's stayed in the team ever since and not had a break.
Hasn't Bruno been playing with an injury the entire season?
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
So.
Højlund, there's no rotation for Højlund either.
Dalot,
I mean, quite literally.
Dalot has played every minute of every fucking game.
Madness. Crazy. I mean, it's no wonder why we got so many injuries. I mean, the style and the intensity is just... It's breaking him, completely breaking him. Yeah. Amy Rocks going in early with a score prediction as well, saying Man United 4, Sheffield United 0. I certainly hope you're right. He's just come back from injury, Amrabat has. I mean, maybe that's got something to do with it, but I mean, Eriksen is... Yeah. I know this might have been asked a lot, but where are you guys on Ten Hag, in or out? Personally, I want him to stay. I don't want to put words in Sam's mouth, but I'm pretty sure you want to give him 6 months for under Ineos. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm not Ten Hag out, but at the same time, I'm not fully behind the guy wanting him to stay no matter what, because we've been through it a million times and I don't want to waste people's time repeating myself. So yeah, I would give him, under the new structure, time to see what he can do, and he's only got a year left on his contract anyway, so you just might as well use it. The lack of options as well. I think we did a show on manager options that are available, and there's nobody really out there where we were all like, yes, that's the guy. The one guy I was like most likely sold on was Nagelsmann, but he's just signed an extension with a German team, so that's gone now. So everybody else is kind of, they're in the same boat as Ten Hag. Amarin, untested. Arne Slot, the Liverpool guy from Feyenoord, untested. Thiago Motta, untested. Roberto De Zerbi, untested. They're all like, they're good managers, but they haven't been at the top level, and they're at the same level as Ten Hag, essentially. It's the same profile, essentially. I know they've got different tactics and stuff, but it's the same level of profile.
Yeah, I think a lot of them like moving as well. Graham Potter's getting the job at Ajax, very close to getting the job at Ajax.
He turned it down.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. He
I heard he was at a game today, watching or yesterday.
Maybe he's changed his mind, but I remember the last report I read, he turned it down.
So yeah, but either way, that was kind of a thing that was happening. So that was potential a manager who's in discussions. De Zerbi, I've seen these links with Bayern Munich now because obviously Nagelsmann's staying at Germany. So these managers,
Rangnick's going to Bayern.
Rangnick, there's a lot of talk and kind of shit moving about. So by the summer, who knows what manager is going to be available? Almiron could be at West Ham. Like, could be a shock move to somewhere else. I have no idea. Absolutely no idea. Sorry, just read that out. Yeah, my take, sorry, very quickly. I was after the Fulham game, I think it was, or it might have even been a Brentford game, where I was like, I can't keep watching this style of football. I was just done with the manager, done with the players. I understand if Ineos want to give him 6 months, I wouldn't be mad at it, but I also wouldn't be mad if they let him go either, because it hasn't been. Watch Arsenal yesterday, for example, Sam. Did you watch the game?
Sorry, you just you froze for a minute, so I missed everything.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was just basically saying, did you, I want a more kind of possession-based game, and I want some nice football. And I said, did you see the Arsenal and thingy game last night at Chelsea?
Destruction.
Like, them on the ball, someone like a Ødegaard is what I want from Bruno. And it kills me to say because I'm comparing it to Arsenal, but the football that they play is really, really nice. Yeah. It's intricate, it's well thought. Yeah. Off the ball, the structure, they was playing like a 4-4-2, like false nines dropping deep, and it was nice structure, do you know what I mean?
He's recruited for the style as well. Like, he's bought the right players in style. So he's brought in Ødegaard to maestro that entire thing.
Yeah.
He's got Gabriel and Martinelli, like, able to bomb forward. He's got solid centre backs in like Saliba. He's got a really good defensive midfielder, Declan Rice. What a fucking buy that was! 100 million,
he was
absolutely
so good.
Phenomenally good.
Trossard,
30 million comes in,
fucking
scores
mad.
goals, absolutely phenomenal. Like, he's built that team so well, and it's I think only because of the absolute dominance of Man City that they probably haven't won a title in the last 2 years. So
yeah.
Tim99 has just gifted a Real Red membership to Charlie Malman, so shout out to Tim. Awesome. Thank you very much, Tim. Very generous of you. Appreciate the support.
What a legend. I wanted to say about that. I know there hasn't been a members video that's dropped in a week or so. I do apologise. It's just been mad busy, mad schedule.
Nick's been all over the airwaves. He's been doing shit.
Yeah, all over the place. And likewise, Sam's a busy man as well. So I'll get a couple done. I'll make sure I get a couple done this week for people, because we do appreciate you supporting the channel. Likewise with Amy as well, who's in the chat. If you do want to become a Real Red Ultra, click the link in the description or the join button. It's Sam as well, yeah. Sorry, forgot about that. How can I forget about it, Sam? Absolute legend. Arsenal are absolutely terrifying. Yeah, random guy. Agree. Right, let's not beat around the bush anymore. What are we saying? Score prediction for tonight, Sam?
I'll stick with 2-1. I said 2-1 on the preview. I'll stick with it. I don't see us keeping a clean sheet. Don't see us not conceding. I could well see it being 2-2. I could well see it being 1-1. But we're not keeping a clean sheet. Like, it's not happening. I just hope it might be a bit of a stuffy game. Like, it might be like 1-1 for a while, and then last minute winner goes in, or a penalty or something like that. Like, it's not going to be a clean win. It's not going to be a dominant win that I think in other circumstances we might expect. So that's kind of where my head's at.
Yeah, before I give mine, I'm just going to read out a quote from Ten Hag. We didn't have so many options to say make rotation. We don't have so. Although they played 120 minutes, they have to do it again. And on Saturday against Burnley, they have to do it again as well. He's put out there. So fair play to the players. My prediction, you know what? I'm going to go bold and brave, which is probably naive and stupid the way we played this season. But I think looking at it, even with the team that we've got, we should score a good couple of goals. I expect Højlund to be on the score sheet, Garnacho to be on the score sheet, and I think we beat him 3-1. Again, I don't think we keep a clean sheet. But if we are going to keep a clean sheet, it's most likely against Sheffield in the same breath. So I'll go 3-1. I think Rasmus definitely needs to go tonight, but we'll get caught on a fucking corner or a set piece or something. We'll lose concentration on something, won't we?
Yeah,
just the way we roll.
Dallow's warming up at left back and Wan-Bissaka is at right back, apparently.
Has Luckhurst tweeted that, by the way? Or someone else?
United District. So they've not typed
Right.
who it was. So
Last game he tweeted that, and then Dallow was still at right back. So I don't believe that until I see it.
I've just seen it, so yeah, take it. Take it as what you want. Diego Dallow's been interviewed as well. He said, in this league, I don't think there's any easy games, especially when teams come to Old Trafford. They're always a little bit extra motivated to play at this stadium. We have to kind of expect the best Sheffield that we can and be ready for any kind of challenge.
Yeah. Charlie Malman also, who is a real Red Ultra member, said 2-1 United. Losing the game is not an option. I'll go up the wall if Chelsea get past us.
Fucking hell.
And random guy says 1-0 or a miraculous masterclass from United. Amy Rourke says Alexander searched internet. Oh, no, can't read that, sorry.
No.
Finally, this nonsense of Wan-Bissaka playing left back should stop. I mean, maybe he's tweaked something there or whatever.
Where does that Brenton Diaz play? Does he play on a side? Have they moved Wan-Bissaka over to deal with him? Maybe.
Potentially, yeah. That's what I mean. I don't know the kind of tactical innovation whatever Ten Hag's got up his sleeve, but fuck knows. I have no idea. Let's just see how the game kicks on, and let's see what the post-match is going to be like. Now, Sam, how many subs are we on at the minute? Subscribers.
What are we? 4,818.
Right, so we are to 182 off 5k. Yeah, 182 subs off 5k. So if you are watching this right now and you're not subscribed to Real Red Stock, please do hit that button, smash a like in the video for us, and come and join us for the post-match analysis as well, because me and Sam will be right here straight after the game. Chivy as well, yeah. So there'll be 3 of us discussing it in depth, and we would love you guys to come and join us. So please do, and yeah, enjoy the game if you can, and not losing your mind. Anything else, Sam, you want to put into there before we go off?
Let's hope Everton beat Liverpool. Put a dent in the title race. That'd be nice. I'd love to see that.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, hopefully we'll see you there, random guy. If not, yeah, check us out in the morning. There'll be another news show as well. So take it easy, people. Enjoy the game if you can, and me and Sam will see you after it. Peace.